you very much for presentation and for the organization as well, for to invite me. And okay, I try to explain as best as I can with my English. I don't know because I've seen most people in English speakers, so I know we're in Spain, but we'll try to explain in my English anyway. And yes, I'll be talking about online communications. I know and I think that some things I'm listening today here, that we have a challenge in Europe or maybe in all over the world about how to increase the protect of the wildlife and how to increase the communication between the wildlife, the wildlife lands, or the ecotourism like a segment of the tourism system with the young people and with the urban people, right? So this is my short speech. I will try to say many things in not many minutes. How to stimulate wildlife ecotourism, and of course I'll be talking some minutes about the big mammals on the Iberian Peninsula, or the Iberian Peninsula, what I mean Spain and Portugal, right? First of all, this is my investigation context, because now I'm doing my personal, I don't know if it's like a challenge or it's my personal seek, in my own, but which is that doctoral thesis about ecotourism in Spain with the Vija University in Madrid, right? So this is my investigation context for to know the big, like a picture of my investigation, but at the same time what I'm trying to explain today, maybe what I will find in the future when I finish. Online communications about the increase of the internet and the using technologies for every people all over the world. The new prosumer on internet, right? What means that about? The second one, the increase, and I think a non-stop ecotourism segment on economic tourist system as a segment of the economic tourist system inside. In relation, of course, with wildlife and animals, forests, or other resources as a traditional methods of living people or local people. And finally, the three big mammals. The three big mammals in a Europe context. As a WILD10 we are today in the Iberian Peninsula, right? From how to start to go a little bit inside of my speech. This is the context that the organization sent to me for me to understand how I can connect my speech with the needs of this workshop, right? Diversifying the global social movement for the wild nature, particular emphasis on urban population. I think to talk about urban population today is a must to talk about internet using, internet connection, or internet emotional connection, what I'm talking now, right? This is our start for my speech, for all children. First of the first point of this investigation, or I think of this my speech for you today, is about online communications. 700 million on European people, right, that are using every day the non-stop internet evolution with the social media, with the using of different mobile phones and different ways of communication, right? And the needs of prosumers' emotional connection. I think this is a prosumer. It's not now anymore producer, right? Or consumer anymore. It's everything together in only one person. right? Maybe the half of 7 million people in Europe, or maybe 200 millions, or maybe only 100 millions are prosumers on the internet, right? Are looking for every day to find new emotional connection on internet to travel. Emotional connection for discover the wildlife, and why not? Why not the Europe wildlife, right? That's why I'm talking about the needs of prosumers, emotional connection that I'm talking now in a few minutes, and the big values of the heritage, because I think big mammals are the heritage, but the sun are the heritage, and everything, well, everything, most of things are heritage. But the heritage, anyway, has a lot of values, you know, with a very big power to connect with the needs of the consumers' future travels on internet, right? This is the emotional connection. This is emotional connection for travel. I can take these letters away, right? And only give and leave here this picture, and maybe this picture will tell to you more things than my words. I know that. But this is emotional connection for travel to Australia, right? For find two romantic person or adventure, or for to be for a day a Cocodrilo Dundee, for instance. But the physical features of destinations, as Australia or any destination in Europe in this case, right? With colors, with landscapes, with smells, with sounds, can be emotional connection on internet, right? The psychological character of the population who will find before to travel can be the emotional connection for me if I am a prosumer on internet, looking for new experiences, new travel, or maybe simply a thing as I, for example, to do something that I never do before, or to do to use some way of travel that I won't never do in my life, because my personal living context in my city, big city, for example, right? Or the symbolic, right? We have to make them identifiable before being able to buy them. It's like, what kind of characters or symbolic things we have in our lands, in our countries, on Europe, in this case, for to be emotional connection, to be very useful to communicate to the 700 millions on internet of European people, to say my resource or my travel or my country or my wildlife, it's a very, very interest for you. It's a very emotional for you. You will find in my country what you're looking for on internet, what you need, that you can find in your city every single day, every journey, when you're working or when you are running your single day, right? Right, so this is the first context, right, about investigation. But now the challenge is with those of things, how to stimulate the wildlife ecotourism. How? How? And this is true that we'll be able to stimulate the wildlife ecotourism. It is true that we'll be able to help to increase, to improve the ecotourism wildlife, right? In order to connect the human people. Well, I think yes. I think yes. For three main lines of improving or support. The first one, relations between the expectation of the human people, right, and the experiences are offering now on the different ecotourism examples in countries or national parks or whatever, right? Second one, to advise public managers in the small villages, like I'm talking about the countryside or very very countryside lands or small regions or province or something land like that, right? In order to optimization of the ecotourism image. Why? Right? Which means a lot of things, symbolic, aesthetic, on the small towns, small villages, a lot of things that it's not the case of my speech now, right? And finally, to create a new offer, both for companies and for destinations. The investigation of online communication, emotional communication, gives us the opportunity to create new offer, right, for the companies and for destination as well, in order to catch, I don't know if this is the correct word, but to catch more young or urban people, especially young people. Right, 2 minutes. So, right? Good time. Yes, big mammals. Big mammals in, well, it's not was prepared with her. I promise you, it was, this noise, it was, you know. So, okay, big mammals, right? Spain and Portugal. A lot of things I can say about, a lot of things. Wolf, deers, yes, well, you know what it is, but I'm talking about economical things, about wildlife watching, about develop, about employment, about innovation, about conservation wave or political conservation of the big mammals. Well, I can talk about a lot of things, but only 3 things for you to understand the resource of the emotional communications. Wide or amazing, intangible, right? Intangible heritage concerning them a competitive resource, right? The intangible heritage of the big mammals is a very, very interesting competitive resource in order to improve the ecotourism image or the position of the companies which are working on the national parks or protect areas, right? The second one, the emotional impact in the watching, because the size, right? I think you can find ecotourist people having an emotional experience just because the size watching the Spanish or Iberian deer, right? Or, for instance, the intangible things around, for example, the Spanish wolf. A lot of intangible things in order to improve the ecotourism. Or, for example, the wild and extensive, amazing ecosystems where the wildlife are living them, like deers. Coming from Cabañeros National Park, we're in the Spanish Serengeti, you mean? So I know we're talking about extensive place where the big mammals are living there. I can't watch the mammal, I can't watch the deer, and I stay in a big, extensive wildlife land where I can find a lot of things more. So, as a result, right, I'm finished now, okay? I think it's important to be able to get inside an alone model. Terms, you see, like, this is important. Conservation, right? Heritage, together at the same time with communication online, competitiveness, and positioning of the companies and destinies, tourist destinies. Because I don't know why, 4 years ago, has been separate conservation and heritage in a way, but the online communication and competitiveness in another way, especially for standard tourism or beach tourism or cheap tourism, but not the ecotourism. I don't know why. So I think it's very important. So the companies will be able to design new communicating aesthetic messages in order to improve the more fair, attractive positionamiento on the internet. internet, in order to survive. The small companies on the national parks and big lands are very, very near to not survive. So they need to survive on the land for keep the protect of the big mammals, for the wildlife. And finally, the most important thing, the innovative model of communication online of the creative offer rescues the legacy and preserves across the terrains, making it functional and generating richer for local people. I'm saying that if the new strategies of conservation wildlife will put together with the increased ecotourism, with all things I told now, we are working at the same time in a new model of preserves and protect as well. So, finish. Thank you very much.
If you're all happy, what we'll do is we'll move on to Joel and then do questions and answers in that last bit, because I don't want us to waste that capacity for Joel to have time. Are you okay? All right, questions. Ta-da! See, we're getting into all this music. Any questions at the moment?
Only one for me to understand that my English is understand, so.
That is great. You've done extremely well. I think what I loved hearing, I was picking up words about emotion, I was picking up words about values, and actually we might forget that no matter how technological we get, at the base of it all, we're all human beings, and actually we need emotion in these things, and it's just really fascinating to look, how do we use, with Mark's model and your model, how do we use emotion that is so deeply ingrained in our humanity in a way to communicate through technology? And this is one of our biggest global challenges that we're facing. So thank you. It was really inspiring and very good, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. So,